Alexa, stop. Hi, everybody. I'm Sasha Segan. This is Will Greenwald, and you are here with One Cool Thing, PC Mag's daily show, where we show you one cool thing, which we are testing out here in the PC Mag Labs. If you are watching us live on Facebook, then you can comment, you can ask questions. Social Pete will read out your comments to us. We'll have a discussion. We'll exchange some ideas and assessments. If you're on YouTube, that is not interactive. YouTube is lame. But you can like and subscribe below and consider coming over to Facebook for a better One Cool Thing experience. What we have here is the Harman Kardon Allure, and this is one of the new third-party Alexa speakers, right?
Yep. This is up there with the UE Blast and Mega Blast.
I said Alexa, and so it woke up.
Smart speakers.
Yeah. Okay. So
We're
you were
seeing a
saying
whole wave of third-party voice assistant speakers. There's the Mega Blast. There's this, the Sonos One, which do Amazon's voice assistant, and then there's the JBL Link. There's the there are others I can't think of right now that have Google Assistant. There's the Harman Kardon Invoke, which uses Cortana and kind of really sucks. But this is actually a pretty good speaker. It is $250. It has Amazon's voice assistant. Alexa, no. And it gets remarkably loud for its size and price.
Yeah, let's show it. Let's show it being loud again with the music that we were playing. Alexa, resume the music. Alexa, volume 10. Alexa, stop. There we go.
A little bit loud.
So yeah, so it gets loud.
Yep.
And now at that maximum volume, what would you say? Because people aren't going to be hearing kind of the real in-the-room sound quality through our little mics.
Yeah.
How would you describe the sound quality?
It's a pretty bass-heavy sound. It doesn't have a whole lot in the high mids. We like to hear a good amount of crispness along with depth, and this speaker doesn't quite have it. The Sonos One, I think, is a very good balanced speaker. This is a lot more heavy, not like totally thumpy. It doesn't pretend to have a subwoofer, but it's like very kind of low-end settled, which is a totally fine sound if you like it, but it isn't accurate, and it's not one I'm personally a fan of. So, loud, not necessarily the best sound, but for the price, one of the louder ones you're gonna find.
Okay, now, and does this is of course a single speaker.
Yep.
It's circular. Is there any kind of stereo effect or spatial effect going on?
Not specifically. There are three drivers positioned equidistantly on like sort of a triangle shape on the sides, and there is a 90mm downward firing woofer, which helps give it its bass sound, but there isn't really any stereo imaging. It's kind of a mono speaker that's just designed to fill the room. A lot of one-piece speakers do that because a lot of speakers that are like this big, unless you have like careful engineering, you're not actually going to get a whole lot of stereo separation with the drivers that close together. We have a question.
Is Alexa better than Google Assistant and Siri?
That's actually my question.
Sorry, I don't know that one.
He doesn't know that one, but we just either we just republished or we're about to republish our A person versus Google Assistant story, and basically I compared them on a bunch of levels, and they are basically tied at this point. The Amazon one and the Google one. The Amazon one tends to be more powerfully configurable. It has more.
Way more third-party.
It has
stuff.
way more third-party stuff. It supports more smart home devices, although Google Assistant now supports all the common smart home devices. Some of the kind of edge cases, more obscure smart home devices are only supported by Amazon.
But if you're using like Hue or Nest, like that's all covered.
Right. The big issue is that Amazon requires you to be much more specific in terms of your syntax. You have to use the exact wording that he wants, whereas Google is much looser in terms of the syntax you can use.
One could say it's smarter.
it's smarter on a natural language processing level.
That's how we measure smartness in a lot of ways.
So you find that, well, except Amazon can learn more skills. So you have, I kind of feel like there's a little
you can
bit
order
of
a pizza from it.
there's a little bit of an old Apple versus Android thing going on.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good comparison,
Yeah.
which is ironic considering what side Google is on that spectrum now.
Exactly. Google is the Apple in this case. And so, like,
Well,
if you,
Siri is, but no one uses Siri outside of just their own devices.
yeah,
And
Siri,
the HomePod is coming out soon, a couple weeks.
yeah, Siri is not even competitive. But in this case, like, if you think back to the age of when we used to say, oh, well, the iPhone is so much easier to use, but Android is much more configurable. I feel like that's what we're experiencing right now with Google and Amazon.
Yeah, I can see that. It definitely seems easier to set up and use Google Assistant and just play with a lot of stuff just with your voice, not have to
Memorize phrases.
not deal with the skills and all those things. So that's nice. But just Alexa can kind of
I'm having
do
trouble
more.
connecting to the internet. For
It's
help,
just not right
go
now.
To the Harman
Yeah.
Kardon Alexa app.
This also has Bluetooth, so you can stream just over Bluetooth if you can't get Wi-Fi.
Now, is there any? So there's no 3.5 millimeter in.
Nope, no
Okay.
wired at all.
Okay, but it's Bluetooth.
Yep.
Does it have aptX?
I believe so.
Okay, so you can do at least lossless, high quality Bluetooth.
Well, relatively lossless. I mean, it isn't.
Now,
yeah,
now the
still Bluetooth.
lighting in here, is this just blue? Does it change colors?
It
What do you have
turns,
for?
it turns white if it's setting up or powering on. Blue if it is right now, I think, pairing with Bluetooth. I accidentally pressed the little touch button for the Bluetooth thing on there. It's just an indicator ring.
It's not entertainment lighting.
Yeah. Actually, this isn't. It's a striking design, but it isn't quite as appealing as the Harman Kardon Allure that I reviewed a few years ago, or the sound sticks, those classic desktop speakers.
The soundsticks subwoofer.
Like similar shape, but the sound sticks in the Aura all clear. It doesn't have this big kind of pillar in the middle that sort of blocks
Yeah.
it, which is kind of disappointing. I would have liked it if it was totally see-through because that's a striking design. And also, there's not really much reason for this to be smoky compared to just
Yep.
see-through. But they could have done a little bit more with lighting effects and stuff, maybe do like a JBL Pulse type thing. But it still looks cool, and it's definitely more something than, say, an Echo or a Google Home.
Now, in terms of the Alexa capabilities in
Yeah.
here, are there features that Amazon has held back for first-party devices, things like phone calling and drop-in?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
This doesn't do drop-in, and Spotify isn't currently enabled on it.
No Spotify.
Yeah.
Whoa! So it only supports which music services?
Google Play, obviously.
No, it doesn't support Google Play. It's an Alexa speaker.
Right, yeah, Amazon Music.
Yeah.
Streaming radio. Pandora, I think. Stuff
Yeah,
like
so
that,
it's Pandora, TuneIn, iHeart. I think it's Pandora, TuneIn, iHeart, and then I guess as a
Amazon
Bluetooth
Music.
speaker.
Yeah,
and
Bluetooth.
Amazon Music.
Of course, you can stream anything over Bluetooth, but it's what you can control with your voice. I mean, if you have Spotify on your phone, you can listen to it on here. So, but still, it is an extra step, and it seems like every third-party speaker is just months behind getting, at the very least, Spotify compared to the Echo.
Yeah, I wonder why. It looks like we have some more questions.
So the Sonos One is our editor's choice right now. How does this measure up across the categories?
This is a bit more expensive. I think it's a bit more powerful, but the Sonos One's sound is just so much better, which is actually good enough that we can forgive the Sonos One for not having Bluetooth, which is kind of a big deal. Although, because the Sonos speaker, in addition to Amazon, you can stream a whole lot of stuff through it, even without Bluetooth, because Sonos has its own
Using the
platform
Sonos app.
for multi-room stuff, so you can do Spotify and can do like 28 other services.
Right. And now I have to call out something that I know is a common reader debate involving our speaker reviews.
Okay.
Because you and Tim
Mr.
have...
Choice of Music.
No, it's not that. It's not that you love prog rock. It's the...
I love many genres.
okay, it's the ideology
Yes.
of flat sound that you and Tim agree on, but I've noticed some of our readers get very kind of prickly about, no, I want the more bass. You people are awful.
I wouldn't say
What's
I
the
agree,
debate
I wouldn't
there?
say I agree with Tim on flat sound. I review audio, but I wouldn't necessarily distinguish myself as an audiophile just because of how I treat music. I love music. I love listening to it, and I have a good ear for figuring out what works and what doesn't. Flat is great for for certain genres, and sculpted is great for certain genres. But sculpted music should be balanced. Balanced doesn't mean flat. So if a speaker is well balanced and it's sculpted, it means, okay, it loses a bit of the middle ground, but it has heavy bass, but it also has heavy higher frequencies, so you get the textures and like the subtlety of what's on the track in addition to the thumping. If you just have the heaviness, then you miss out on a lot of what's great in that track. Unless it is purely bass, and those, suck.
And so that's part of what the Sonos has, but this one doesn't necessarily have as much of.
Yes.
Okay.
I would say Sonos's response is also flatter, but the point is that it's sculpted enough in the high end to balance out the low end so you get a good sound coming out of it. Even if it's not the flattest response, it is even.
And now, from a smart home perspective, a lot of people use these kinds of voice devices to control smart home.
I do.
Will this control everything in your Alexa smart home?
Yep, it is total control over the Alexa smart home stuff, so your thermostat, lights, all that stuff. Will be just fine through here. The main things missing are drop-in and services like Spotify that are on Echo.
Okay, great. Any more questions out there?
I don't know if you mentioned this earlier. Does this interact with other Echo products?
Not really directly. Like Echo sort of as a multi-room platform isn't really as developed as Google Cast and Google Assistant speakers, so it isn't as friendly in terms of that. Like this is really meant to be used on its own. It's not necessarily designed to be paired with anything. It's just use it here. You can place a bunch of these in different rooms or different speakers, an Echo somewhere, this somewhere, a Mega Blast somewhere, and have them all work on the same account and have your own information on it. There's those features that are on Alexa, so you can use that. But in
I'm
terms of
having trouble connecting to the internet. For help, go to the Harman Kardon Alexa app.
I just want
Thank
to
you.
point out that this is not actually a problem with this speaker. The Wi-Fi connections in our lab are always a spaghetti disaster mess, so don't hold it against the speaker.
yeah, or we could just say that we do this for comedy.
Yeah, but though it does open up an important question
Yes.
of if you have, say, a couple of Echo Dots,
Right.
and you want to get this for a more powerful speaker.
Yep.
Does this have the functionality where if you say the A word, multiple devices won't simultaneously respond?
It has pretty much the same features in terms of that as any other A speaker.
Okay.
But I do think Google also does that a little bit better, just from the testing I've done with the JBLs and Google Home, that it's able to figure out multiple speakers in the same room. I don't know if Amazon has completely figured that out as well yet.
Okay, great. Any more questions out there? Terrific. So this is the Harman Kardon Allure. It's $250.
Yep.
Okay, and there's no first-party Amazon speakers at kind of the sound high end right now, right?
The closest one is the Echo Plus, which is basically just an Echo.
old
Like
Echo,
it's not that
yeah.
more powerful.
Yeah.
I actually have the regularly 2017 Echo, the smaller one. I quite like it, but the main thing I use it for is checking the weather when I get up.
But yeah, so if
I
you
can turn on
want
my lights.
If you want a really good sounding Amazon-powered speaker, we recommend the Sonos One,
Yep.
which is $50 cheaper and sounds better.
If you want a lot of power, this is still pretty good. I mean, this is not a bad speaker. We just have better alternatives for you to look at.
Yeah, I mean, this is really powerful, and as we've been saying, we find it a little too bassy.
Yep.
But
if you want to go a little bit higher in terms of this, $300, the UE Mega Blast is portable, which means it is rugged, it has a battery, and it uses Amazon. And it is also quite powerful. It's more expensive, and it's also not as stylish and pretty. Just looks kind of like a weird rubber beer can. But it's an impressive speaker for what it is. And there is a smaller version of the UE Blast, which we do plan to review in the future, and that is sort of the $200 version. So
Great.
if you want portable alternatives, there's that.
okay. So any more questions out there? Just one last check. Great. Thank you all for watching. This has been One Cool Thing with the Harman Kardon Allure. We will be back tomorrow with another cool thing for you.
You hit the Bluetooth button.